Embracing a healthy lifestyle is not always an easy task, and with the current events, such as the global pandemic, we often tend to forget to take care of ourselves. Our bodies are delicate and must be maintained and nurtured both mentally and physically. A healthy lifestyle is not only a healthy diet, but also exercising, hydration, and an organized sleep schedule. Today, we will be discussing these topics and providing you with tips and advice on how to achieve a healthier life. Our guest tonight is Dr. Nura Arabi, Health Promotion and Child Development Specialist. She is very passionate about spreading the message of health and has done so much through different media outlets, as she was the bubbly sound on Pearl FM radio in Dubai with her daily health tips. She has many articles written around the world in both Arabic and English. And today she will be discussing the topic about building a healthy lifestyle. Good evening, Dr. Nura.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm happy and healthy. Thank you very much. And I'm very honored that I'm doing this session today, and I'm very happy to be sharing, inshallah, some knowledge with everyone that people can benefit from, inshallah.
Inshallah, we hope so. And thank you for your time and for being with us tonight.
Thanks.
We all know how important it is to take care of our body and being healthy. But why should we emphasize this topic and apply it to our health, to our daily life?
Of course, now that we are going through Corona and the pandemic, people have been thinking about their health more than ever before. But even with the pandemic or without the pandemic, our health should be a priority. And according to studies, the more people are aware about their health and how they take care of their health, the less the possibility of them getting any illness that are related to a lifestyle. World Health Organization have shared an alarming statistic about a sedentary lifestyle. It is considered to be the fourth leading cause of death. So this topic is more alarming than we can ever imagine. Weight gain and being overweight and issues that are related with being overweight, such as diabetes, blood pressure, heart issues, and illnesses that can be simply avoided by lifestyle. So we need to speak more about this topic than ever before.
Yeah, of course, it's very important taking care of our body that's going to last, inshallah, for a long time. Can you share some facts about the human body as we are talking about it?
Actually, before we get into the facts about the human body, it's a very important thing that we need to speak about, or something that we hear about all the time, that is mental health, or my social health, or my intellect. So it's very important that we differentiate between all of these, and it's very important to note that our health has 7 dimensions, which are our physical health, environmental, so how our environment affects us, if there is any toxins around us in the air or the food we eat, our occupation, if we're happy at work, if we're not happy at work. So these are 3 by now: physical, environmental, occupational. Our spiritual health is important, social health, emotional, and intellectual health. So there are 7 dimensions to our health. And once we learn about those dimensions and we start taking or making the choice to take care of our health and commit to it, our quality of life will improve, and we will be much better or better off with our lifestyle. So for today, we're going to focus on the physical aspect, and we will focus on the sleep. Do I sleep well? What is the biological hour? Do I give my nervous system enough sleep? Water, do I drink enough water? And how does that affect my health? Nutrition. Food has a direct relationship to beauty, happiness, energy, depression, and so many things. So, and I want to focus on this point at emotional eating and real hunger or stress hunger, and of course, physical activity. Going back to your question about the facts. So let me share some facts about the human body, and those are keys for us to understand how our bodies work and the power of our bodies, or to learn about scientific facts. So the first fact I want to share about cancerous cells. We hear a lot about cancer. What's up with that? And it's a very scary topic for a lot of people to talk about, and it's very emotional for sure. It is estimated that there are 500 to 10,000 cancerous cells being formed in our bodies on daily basis. That's a huge number to just comprehend. But those cells are not active. And why is that? Because our bodies are always trying to detox and clean. Those cells are produced due to unhealthy food, stress, anxiety, being exposed to toxins from our environment. But the good news are our bodies are also made to get rid of those cells. So if we continue with unhealthy lifestyle, those cells will end up winning and the cancer cells will come to life. But if we live a healthy lifestyle, then our bodies are able to detox and cleanse and clean and get rid of all dead cells or harmful cells in our body that are not supposed to be there. The U.S. National Cancer Institute have stated that 80% of cancer cases are lifestyle related. So lifestyle and committing to a healthy lifestyle is very important. That was our first fact. Our second fact is our immune system. Immunity has been a very big topic, especially with corona. Our immune system is supposed to last us 75 to 80 years without any complication at all. Now we hear a lot about autoimmune disease, even in young children, and which is not very common to people my generation and my parents' generation. It's a lot of things are happening, and where did it come from? Our genetics make up only 25% of our immune system lifespan. The rest of the 75% is lifestyle related. So we have some or a great number of control, which is 75% of our immune system health is in our hands and is related to the lifestyle that we live. So I hope that was a good fact for you to encourage you to start taking on a healthy lifestyle. The third fact I want to share with you is aging, about aging. Sometimes we hear a lot about people who have lived so many years, but at the same time, we hear that someone who's in their 40s, but they look like they're in their 50s, and the opposite can happen. Someone in their 40s, and they look like that they are in their 30s. So each person has two ages or two numbers. You have your biological age, which is how many years you have lived on planet Earth, and your lifestyle related age, which can make you look either older or younger, depends on how you take care of your health. And research have found that 1 in 10,000 people only die from old age, and most people actually die before they even reach that age. And the reason is, again, lifestyle related. So research have also found that the healthy age for our cells is 120 years, which means our body should last us 120 years without any complications. And we have seen some cases, especially in Japan, because of their healthy lifestyle, that have lived for long, long time.
Nice. It's always good to know about all these. And like you said, it's very important for us to be aware of all these aspects that are affecting our body and affecting our immunity system. Excuse me. So, what can you tell us about some tools for a healthy lifestyle? And for people who are watching us, if you have any questions about a healthier lifestyle or any question for Dr. Nura, you can always call us using the WhatsApp application to our number 613-851-5948. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so we said we will cover the keys to our health or the physical aspect of our health: sleep, water, nutrition, and of course, physical activity. So first, we're going to start talking about sleep, or let's talk more about our biological hour. It is the source of our happiness, our energy, our health. If you're not feeling rested, you will be grumpy and you just feel like you want to punch someone. And so it's very important that we got enough rest, and it's very important for us to understand the science behind getting enough rest. So We usually relate a biological hour to sleep time, which is the biggest obvious sign in our face when we talk about biological hour. But it also helps us stay in tune with the seasons around us. It helps regulates our hormones from minute to minute, from hour to hour along the day, and it helps us stay in tune with a lot of things around us. So the biological hour is not only about sleep time, but because we can feel its effect directly with our sleep. Um, we speak about the sleep time and biological hour a lot. So our biological hour is located in the hypothalamus, that's in the back of our brain, and it regulates the time we wake up, we go to sleep, and regulates our hormones, our enzymes along the 24 hours. Our hormones function change along the day from noon to afternoon to evening and so on. So, what does sleep has to do with our health? First, our bodies need to rest because they work so hard during the day and our bodies need to rest. It doesn't mean that our bodies shut down when we go to sleep. They actually work harder, but the change in the role of hormones amplify the function of rebuild and detox. And this is why we either feel good when we wake up or we feel bad when we wake up. And that all depends on if we have given our bodies the enough rest. Did we give our bodies the rest it needs? Yes, then we will feel good. If not, then we will feel grumpy, a little mad, and a little moody when we wake up. So, or sometimes people they wake up and they notice that there are lines or feeling a little bit older than they should be, especially for ladies. I think they always notice those signs very quickly. So it all depends on how much rest you have given your body. Our nervous system has a sympathetic and parasympathetic system, which of course regulate our body biological hour. The parasympathetic system is responsible to build and heal, and it's more active at night. So we have talked earlier about cancerous cells. So during the sleep or sleep time, that's when our bodies are able to get rid of all those cells, and there is a quality sleep and a quantity sleep. Scientists always say that we need to get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep, but um, if we look at the quantity itself, sometimes people tell you, but I slept enough and I do not feel good. How come? But when you ask them about what time they actually slept, they will tell you, oh, I slept from 1 a.m. until 10 a.m. in the morning. So there is no quality in the sleep. That's because you got the quantity, but not the quality. Now, we need to match both together. Um, Sleeping time, it's not the same for everyone. Actually, some people they need more time of sleep than others, and some people need up to 9 hours per day of sleep. And we have a term for them. We call them lazy people, but they actually need it for them for their health because that what works better for their bodies. And each one should know that on their own. But in general, 7 to 8 hours of sleep are the average range are good for a good quality sleep. Now, to make sure that the quality is amplified, do not stay up late and then, like we said, the example, you sleep from 1 a.m. until 10 a.m. in the morning. No, try to sleep earlier. And the best time for us as Muslims, what our Prophet have told us, I will say it in Arabic. لا سمر بعد العشاء إلا لرجلين لمصلي ومسافر. What does that mean? There's no staying up late except for two men, a man who's praying or a man who's on a travel. And there is a huge wisdom behind it. Scientists have found that melatonin, the sleep hormone, that only works best when it's completely dark, and it works best right after Isha time. A lot of hormones are regulated in a very fascinating way with our prayer times, whether it's in the morning, whether the noon, whether afternoon, whether evening, whichever prayer this is like a crazy biological hour that regulates a lot of hormones around prayer time. So after prayer, go to sleep, or Isha prayer, go to sleep. That's the perfect time for you. to be in tune with your biological hour and to be in tune with the sun and the moon cycle and to get the quality sleep. And by that, you should be able to wake up for your fajr. You shouldn't have any problems with that. Okay, another thing that we need, I want to note is for sleep time. It's different from person to person, and it's also different with age. So, for example, children, they need 9 to 10 hours of sleep. We see that little babies or newborn, they sleep up to 16 hours per day because their bodies need it. As we grow, the hours decrease, but we need to get our quality and quantity sleep.
Of course, and we can see that with kids, with babies, with toddlers, that whenever they don't get enough sleep, they are very grumpy, just like you said. Um, we spoke about sleeping. What about naps?
Oh, a very good question. So,
Hmm.
like we said, our hormones are regulated big time around prayer times, actually. And studies have shown that sleeping after night for us Muslim or after Isha till midnight, um, or from Isha time till midnight, each hour of sleep is equivalent to 3 hours of rest. And that's when our melatonin hormone is in its peak function. So staying up late and sleeping after midnight, you're hurting your body big time. So make sure you sleep before that time. As for naps, for whatever reason you have to stay up late, naps can help you cover up some rest, but it will never compensate for the amount of rebuild and the amount of detox that happens at night. But it can give your body some rest that it needs to continue with efficient function throughout your day. Now, the two rules of naps are it should be between 10 to 30 minutes, never longer, and it should be between Dhuhr and Asr prayer, not before, not after. For us, our Prophet have told us, do not
That's
sleep
Islam.
after Fajr. Yeah, and do not sleep after Fajr because again, the hormone regulation is different. You're messing up with your hormone regulations, and do not sleep after Asr prayer again because of the function of the hormone changes. And a lot of people or a lot of stories we hear that for whoever sleeps afternoon or sleep for long hours, they will tell you, I just had a nap and I feel like I'm grumpy and I'm feeling weird. Sometimes people feel that their time zone is actually different, and that's all due to hormones. And like we said, our biological hour is connected directly to our hormones. And this is why we have those weird feelings or being in a different place, sometimes feeling like you woke up in a different day. So those are my tips about naps.
Thank you so much about that. We do have a call um, from Muhammad Aswad. Assalamu alaikum. I think your mic is muted. I can see that your mic is muted. Muhammad, if you can hear us.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Okay, so I have a question regarding the quality of sleep. I'm a student, so as you can expect, my sleeping schedule is not exactly the best. But despite getting enough, let's say, quantity of sleep, quality-wise, it's never what it should be. How do you actually improve the quality of sleep? Thank you.
Thank you. So how can you improve the quality of your sleep?
So improving the quality of our sleep, even for people who have work or night shifts, they have to work at night, or for whatever reason you have to stay up late. You can always compensate with that with your naps during the day. But whatever you do, try not to sleep after Asr prayer. That will damage your hormonal cycle big time. But you can compensate with your naps during the day and try your best to regulate or as much as you can at night to get that quality sleep.
We do have another question
Actually, I have one more tip before I forget. Sorry. When you wake up in the morning also to improve the function of melatonin at night, first when you wake up or when the sun rises, try to have a walk outside without sunglasses on because when your eyes see the sunlight, actually, it also improves the function of your hormones at night. And subhanAllah. So try to also have that small walk in the morning. It will improve your sleep and will compensate for something if your schedule get irregulated or for whatever reason. So that's a small tip as well.
Is it at all beneficial or more damaging if we make up for missed sleep in 1 week by sleeping more in the next week?
Try to listen to your body because sometimes your body will speak to you and it will tell you exactly what it needs. So listen to it, especially if you have an irregular schedule and there's something that out of your control, but you have to go through and you have to go through it. But if you're able to have control over your sleep time and you're able to sleep early and wake up early, do it. But if you are under whatever condition that you cannot control your sleep time, listen to your body and will tell you exactly what it needs.
About the hadith you mentioned before that we should sleep after Isha, we have a question from Rina Kusa. What about winter when Isha is at 6 p.m.?
Actually, our bodies are very fascinating with how they are in tune with our what do you call it, our nature, and even with the cycles of the seasons, the winter, summer, whatever it is. You will notice even for weight gain. In the winter, all of us we put on some weight. Why is that? Because our bodies are in tune with the nature outside. And they put on some weight so they can stay warm, right? So they are trying to regulate with the nature outside. So outside is cold, body puts on some weight so I can stay warm. Now for sleep time, our bodies know how to regulate themselves, and you will notice that people when it gets dark early, they start falling asleep earlier. So your body is also doing the work that it's supposed to be doing, and it's already in tune with everything. So make sure you follow just our sunnah. It's in tune with the nature in an unbelievable way. Even when we fast, with the way Ramadan works, there's another reason for us why Muslims follow the lunar calendar and not the regular calendar. It's because the moon has more effect on our bodies, has more effect on nature. It's when you look at the details, it's unbelievable. So make sure you follow the sunnah and make sure you stick to what the Prophet have told us and taught us.
Another question we have from Brother Sulaiman, asking about the immune system. He's asking what can we do to increase it? Like, is it food, exercise? What can we do better to increase our immune system?
Of course, this is what we are talking about. It's your sleep. Make sure you get enough water. Make sure you eat healthy. Make sure you exercise. All of these play a huge factor into our improving our immune system. And of course, vitamins. Make sure you do a blood test and you check if you're missing on any vitamins.
Yeah, I'm sure that all of us should check with our doctor, family doctor, every at least 6 months or maybe 12 months to have a blood work and to check, like you said, the vitamins, our minerals, and all these. We all know the importance of drinking water. What's the right amount that our body needs to stay hydrated? Is this enough?
Right. So our bodies are 70% water. Our bodies, they never store water, and every drop of water we consume never gets stored. Our bodies got rid of it. And in the Quran, it says, وَمَا أَنْتُمْ لَهُ بِخَازِنُونَ, and you will never be storing it when it's khazinin, sorry. You are never storing the water. So we drink it, subhanAllah, our bodies got rid of it. So If you have water retention, it's a symptom for something else, and there's something wrong going on inside your body. So not drinking enough water can decrease our metabolism, the process of detox, and it can leave some toxins inside. It can also play a big role into storing more fat and constipation, which is an ugly feeling we don't want to feel. So now that we have talked about sleep, we have kept our sleep well, we drank enough water, and we have supported our bodies, our kidneys, regulating their function to get rid of toxins. Our hormone function is regular. So you can see there's like a cycle or a closed circle or a cycle, yeah, and it's closed. If you sleep well, you will feel good. You will be able, if you drink enough water, your body will be fine. Your sleep quality will be good. And then if you exercise, and it keeps going, right? So water helps our body stay hydrated, and research have found that there is a huge relationship between dehydration and depression and anxiety and a lack of focus as well. So when we feel thirsty, we have actually reached the state of dehydration, and we can see dehydration mainly, or right away you can see it in your skin and in your face. And hydration is what gives us beauty from the inside and reflects on the outside. Signs of dehydration is if you go to the bathroom and you see a dark pee, so that's not a good sign. And always feeling constipated is another sign of dehydration, and constant headache, weak focus, or weak concentration are also signs of dehydration. A very important thing to note that our brain does not differentiate between hunger and thirst. I think a lot of people will like me talking about this one. Because drinking water, sometimes people feel hungry and they have no idea what's wrong, and no matter what they eat, they will still feel hungry, and most of the time they actually needed water. So pay attention to this point. Before you feel hungry, actually drink a cup of water and wait for 10 to 15 minutes, and then see, are you feeling hungry still, or were you thirsty because you gave your body what it needs? And one last thing I want to share about water is a lot of things that we hear is that we need to drink our water warm. And that actually is not very helpful for our bodies, because when you drink warm water, actually stays in your stomach. But when you drink cold water, and I'm not talking about freezing cold, it needs to be like 4 degrees colder than the room temperature. It goes into your body, and the cells are able to absorb it right away, and this is how you feel hydrated. And I think if you try to think and imagine about the feeling of drinking something cold, or not really cold, but when you're feeling hot and you drink something cold, you just feel fresh. This is exactly the same effect what happens in our bodies when you drink something a little bit cold, but it doesn't have to be very cold and not warm.
So it's not like we always know that it's not good to drink cold water. It has to be room temperature. So it's a good tip.
Just 4 degrees more
Not
than
too
the room
cold.
temperature. That's not too cold, no.
What is it, emotional hunger? And how can we differentiate it from real hunger?
Okay, that's a very big one.
I know everyone is waiting for this, I think.
Okay, actually, I keep forgetting my tips. One more tip about water before we get into emotional hunger. I want to try and share as much as I can for people so they can benefit. The right amount of water that we need to drink, you need to look at how much you weigh. We hear a lot that we need to get 8 cups of water per day, but this is the minimum actually to avoid hydration. But what our bodies actually need, look at your weight. How much do you weigh? For each 30 kilograms, you need 1 liter of water. So my weight is 62 kilograms. So I need 2 liters of water. That's for each 30 kilograms. I need 2 liters of water per day. That's how much to make sure that my body does not get dehydrated, the functions are smooth and running, and the detoxification is fine, and my body will not ask for anything.
And this is the same for male and females?
For male and
kilograms?
female, yeah. By kg, yeah, by kilograms, yeah. Alrighty.
Okay.
Back to the differentiating
Emotional
about
hunger.
real hunger and emotional hunger. Yeah. I think this will take us to our nutrition point. And 95% of people who are addicted to eating sweets are running away from their feelings, from stress, from anxiety, you name it. And also people who do not get enough sleep. See, this is where our close cycle is. People who do not get enough sleep will tend to eat more unhealthy food so their body can feel the rest that the body needed when you were asleep. Yeah. So when it comes to eating, oh my God, let's not talk about food. That's a huge topic. Okay, let me go back to emotional hunger. Okay. A lot of people, they will either eat a lot, or some people, they will not eat at all. And the difference is because when you're eating too much, is you are trying to forget about your issues, your emotional issues, your stress, your anxiety, or whatever is on your mind at that moment with the food. So you're trying to shift your focus from that issue and you're just eating so you can forget. Now, the opposite happens for people who are or who do not eat at all. They completely forget about everything around us around them, to the point where they forget about their food and they're just too focused on the issue, and their stress and anxiety amplifies. So it's important to note the stress between those two. But to deal with those issues and to avoid emotional hunger and stress hunger or stress eating, it is very important that we deal with the issue that is bothering us instead of dealing with it through food, either by eating too much or not eating at all. Now, for real and emotional hunger, let's ask ourselves the following questions. Do you eat when you are not hungry? Do you eat when you are full already? Do you eat to improve how you feel? Or do you use food as a reward? Do you associate eating with the feeling of safe or loved? Do you feel sometimes that you are unable to control eating? So how do you know if you're physically hungry or emotional hungry? So you need to ask yourself those questions.
When you
That's
are
how you can
sad, when you
differentiate.
are angry,
Yeah,
when you are happy.
yeah, of course. Yeah. Now, the signs for emotional hunger and real hunger is that physical hunger, it builds gradually and stems from your throat and the belly. But emotional hunger can begin all of a sudden. I just want this right now. Just like a child, when you talk to a child, look, I want this now. So this is how emotional hunger works. Emotional hunger feels very urgent. It's overwhelming unless if you have not eaten in a long time. Physical hunger can be annoying too, but it is not as demanding on your mind as emotional hunger. Another thing is that physical hunger ends after you eat your meal. So you ate, you're satisfied, you're done. Emotional hunger will linger even after your stomach is full, and you will feel that you want to eat something more and more. If you feel like eating more after you have just ate, then you're trying to fill up your emotions. Also, if you are feeling guilt or shame after you eat, after you ate, then you are more likely eating because of your emotions and not physically. So these are some differentiations.
Excellent. It's very important. What about sports and exercising? I think it's one of the aspects that are very important and related to
Right.
what you are talking about.
I think the questions are just perfect. So we have talked about our sleep. We have talked about our drinking water. We have talked about emotional hunger versus real hunger. And now let's talk about our physical activities. So our brains have 100 billion nervous cells, and those are the cells we get from the minute we are born. They never increase, they do not decrease. But what increases between those cells is the connection among them. So physical activity is very important because it helps the connection between those. And it's very important that students get physical activity because it helps them to be or to perform better academically. When parents say, no, I want my child to focus more on their education, actually playtime and physical activity can play a huge role into their academic performance. But back to adults, physical activity helps us improve those connections among those 100 billion nerve cells. And of course, once that connection is improved, our mental state is much improved. We're able to focus better. We're feeling much happier because the amount of oxygen reached to the brain is increased, and the nutrition supply is also increased. So physical activity is very important to our bodies. It doesn't matter how much we talk, whether about benefits to our hearts, whether about benefits to our brains, whether benefits to our total body. We will continue talking about and talking. We will never finish. So physical activity is very important. Speaking of our biological age that we have talked about before, we said that some people look younger or older than they really are, or than their the age or how much they have lived on Earth. And that's because physical activity is another factor that helps us into looking younger and the body feeling more fresh. When we eat food, we spend only 10% of our energy that we get from our food. And 20 to 30% of that energy is used through movement, and 60 to 70% the energy we get from our food is actually spent through lifestyle. So if people are complaining about their weight, there is 67 to 70% of energy that gets spent if we are moving around, like going to get the groceries or walking in my neighborhood or maybe walking to the mosque. Unfortunately, in the West, this is really hard to apply, but if you can ever, or if you ever get the chance to do things through walking or carrying yourself around, do it, because this helps tremendously into improving your life. Now, when we talk about physical activity, a lot of people think that you need to have really crazy equipment, you need to go to the gym, you need to do this and this and this. No, with 1 meter and 1 meter in my house, I can create a lot of things, and I can do a lot of things. I can do it with my family as long as what my requirements are, increasing my heartbeat, increasing my breathing, and sweating a little bit. This should help me with my energy expenditure and feeling happy and relaxed and maintaining my health. Now, maintaining our health is completely different than building muscles and having goals. That will be a different story. But when we talk about maintaining our health, we need at least 30 to 60 minutes of movement in our day. That, like I said, that increases our heartbeats, increases our breathing, and makes me feel sweat a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I know there's many videos we can get on YouTube to help us exercise depending on whatever exercise we need. What's the best time for exercising?
Actually, contrary to our nap time, when we said do not nap right after sunrise or in the afternoon. So opposite. These are the two best times according to these are the best times for physical activity according to research. But since sometimes people have to go to school or they have to go to work, or then the best time is the best time that works for you.
We do have a question from Nuha from Ottawa. She's asking about collagen supplements and if anyone can gain weight from it.
Okay, now let's talk about supplements in general. First of all, try not to take any supplements because you have heard so-and-so have taken it and they have improved, or because my friend have tried something, or even when we talk about diets as well, because when I receive, or my friend has a diet and I receive it on WhatsApp from her, this come back 2 years later, the same diet is coming back to me through WhatsApp and it cycles through the whole city. So let's be careful when we talk about supplements, when we talk about diets, and it's best if we do it through a doctor, because even if there are regulations by the Ministry of Health for a standard to make sure that things are safe, there are a lot of products that are out in the market that use cheap materials, and those cheap materials might end up leaving some heavy metals in our bodies and heavy toxins that will not show right now, but on the long term, you will be sick and you will have no idea where it came from. And you will be like, oh, but I have done this and this and this and I take care of my body. How come I am sick? It's because sometimes you're putting the wrong stuff in your body, and it's better to do it through a doctor.
So it's not that we go to Walmart or Shoppers and then
No.
we fill our basket with multivitamins and vitamin D,
Yeah.
B plus, whatever. It's better
No.
to have
No.
work
Better
blood
to ask
done.
about the best type from, do blood work. Also, if you have, seem like your body gets hurt when you're deficient on some vitamins and minerals, also having extra can be toxic to your body. So better to have a blood work done before you decide what you want to take. Do it through a doctor and let the doctor tell you what's the best brand or type for you to take.
Going back to exercising, I think there's a big misunderstanding when it comes to building muscles. The majority of women thinks that if they exercise, they will easily get a big body. What can you tell them about that?
Yeah, great question. We have a misconception that exercise is only for men, or women might look a little bit bulky. Those for the ones who want to go to the gym and start lifting weights and so on. But this is not true because women have the estrogen, and that what makes our bodies soft and or softer than the men. And men have testosterone, the male hormone, which makes them like look tough and bulky. If you are worried about being bulky, it will never happen. But maintaining our muscles is important for male and female, especially that the older that we get, we lose 4 to 6% from our muscle mass, and we need to maintain it through physical activity. That helps with our metabolism, with staying strong, with looking nice, of course. And to convert the fat into energy in our bodies, we need to make sure that our muscles are healthy and strong because they are the only thing that is responsible for burning fat. If people tell you about taking herbs or taking supplements that will make you lose weight, or they will tell you about, I don't know, whatever they have tried that made them lose weight, that's all, throw it all in the garbage because it doesn't work. The only thing that burns fat is through muscle movement. So you need to get your workout done. You need to get moving. You need to exercise. It will never hurt you as a female in terms of looking a certain way. That will never reach or will never happen. But if you say, well, I have seen so and so on Instagram or on social media and they look bulky, for those type of women, first of all, they work out a lot and they take supplements to make them look a certain way. And most of the time, those supplements are hormone related, so they can look that bulky and that tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
that the muscles are like the engine, and the fat in our
Yeah.
body is like the gas or the whatever the engine needs to
Yes.
to make like to bring power. And that's why whenever
Yeah,
we
of course.
work out and we move our muscles, the muscles will move the fat we have to power that we need to lift things and to make the muscles work. Two things that I started for my New Year resolution is to cut sugar and to start cutting bread and rice. And since the beginning of the year, I lost 6 kilograms. I know it's
That's
a lot
great.
in
Yeah,
in
that's
2
amazing.
weeks. But yes,
Actually,
because
sugar
like I
has,
was using,
right.
I was eating a lot, and a few years ago, just before the pandemic, I was on a diet which was called the intermediate fasting, and I stick to this for almost 2 years, and I lost a lot of weight during that time. I reached 77 kilograms, and then the pandemic came, and then I was not able to go to swim or to the gyms because everything was closed. And then we started gaining weight until I came back to my initial weight that was 88 kilograms. And I know, like we all know that when you eat a lot of sugar, it helps a lot gaining weight. So the first thing that you need to do is cutting the sugar. And of course, you can take sugar from fruits, from freshly squeezed juice. So of course you should not cut 100% the sugar, but it's the white sugar. Is it called the white sugar?
Yes, or it's called white or refined sugar. I want to
Refined.
say first, intermittent fasting is very important and it's very good for your health actually because we are not meant to be eating all the time. And this is why for us Muslims, our God have said we have a full month of fasting where you actually rebuild and rejuvenate your health and your body is able to completely get rid of everything. And then to maintain that detox, what do we have? We have Monday and Thursday fasting. So it's a different concept of intermittent fasting. But they both have their different sciences, but they fall into the same goal of not eating too much and helping your body to stay with its optimal function and detoxifying your health or detoxifying the toxins, if that makes sense. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing, when we fall into diets, we hear about a lot of diets. Again, do not try anything before you speak to your doctor and under the supervision of someone who is an expert in that field. Because again, if you like, we hear a lot about the paleo, about the keto, and some of them are good to do for a short time, but on the long run, they might end up damaging your health more than benefiting you. So we need to be careful.
Especially the keto.
Sugar, yeah, yeah. And any diet that has or eliminates any health or any food groups, please be careful and do not do it by yourself. Do it with an expert in the field because it can, like I said, it can end up doing more damage than good. Another thing is that sugar. Sugar is the disaster of all disasters. Try to avoid it at all costs because what happens is that the healthy sugar that comes from food, like from fruits, from vegetables, actually carrots have a lot of sugar, onions have a lot of sugar that your body needs. And it takes 3 hours for your body to consume and get rid of that or consume and convert it into energy and fat. It takes about 3 hours, right? So when your body gets a signal of, okay, we have some sugar coming in, your insulin get produced, which is a hormone, and it's not good for hormones to be flying free inside your body. So what your body does is that it produces the exact and precise amount of hormone that it will take your body to consume certain things. So your insulin or your pancreas produces insulin that will last for 3 hours in your body. What happens with refined sugar or white sugar is that the sugar goes into your body 30 minutes and it's already gone. So what happens with the leftover of the insulin? Your body gets confused and now your body has to clean up after all of that. It's like you have, I'm just using an analogy right now so people can understand. I'm not using the actual scientific explanation. It's like when you put on a fire and then it goes very high all of a sudden, and then you just put it down, and then there's all the black from the fire on the wall, and now you have to clean it all up. It's exactly what happened when you have refined sugar in your system. And that's why people end up having insulin resistance and so many other health issues, and they gain weight. And if you have belly fat, you're eating too much white or refined sugar. So watch out.
And I think it also affects the immune system, the white
It
sugar.
affects everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It affects everything. And be careful when you read on the packaging sugar-free, because what companies have done is it's a big lie, because what companies do to compensate for the taste, so they make it up in the fat. So they try to cancel one thing, but they add a different disaster. So be careful.
Something worse. We were talking about the intermittent fasting, and I'm sure many people would have questions that what is the intermittent fasting? How can we follow this regime?
So intermittent fasting, it depends. Some people take longer hours to stay without food. Some people, they wake up, they have breakfast, and they do not eat until the end of the day. Or sometimes people do not eat in the morning until like a certain hour in the afternoon. So it depends on their preference. And like I said, it is best if they go through someone who's an expert in the field to go with it. But intermittent fasting is fabulous for maintaining your health because our bodies are not made to be eating all the time and to be just digesting food all the time.
I use the 8 hours, and I used
Okay.
to because like I don't like to have breakfast, so why not? So I used the 8 hours window not to eat anything, but I was allowed to drink water and black coffee. And after 8 hours, I would eat anything I want, but without sugar, without bread.
Since we're talking about fasting, there are so many different types of fasting. There's we hear that our Christian brothers and sisters, they have their vegetarian type of fast where they do not consume with their religious fast, they do not consume animal products. We hear about the water fast where people just fast only to drink water. There are so many different types of fasting. And of course, we have our own Muslim fast where we fast in Ramadan. Now, fasting has a purpose of cleansing physically, mentally, and spiritually, and to get rid of anything that does not serve us good so we can feel better, lighter, and rejuvenate. But the long-term fasting, it's supposed to completely, sort of like a spring cleaning, completely clean everything in your body. Now, science have said that if you have been building up toxins up to 1 year in your body, then you need another year to get rid of those toxins.
Oh, wow.
But what fasting actually does, it fastens and amplifies this cleaning process. So there are fasts that you can do where it will duplicate this process. So for example, instead of taking a year, it might take 6 months. And then for some other fasting, it might be amplified to 3 times. And in some cases, if you do it properly, it will take to 100 times. So
Wow.
so it depends on how proper you actually do the fasting. Now, for us Muslims, a lot of question or a big question we get during our fast is not even water. And there is a lot of science behind this term, is that when we drink water, let's say you stop eating and then you only drink water through the fast. With that, you are allowing the water to cleanse whatever the body is trying to get rid of. But when you completely take the water out, what happens is that the fasting process will speed up, and it can go up to 100 times of cleansing, because at that point your body literally goes into competition between itself and anything that lives inside of it that takes water. For example, fungi, bacteria, germs, whatever you name it, they all survive where there is water. But now you don't have water, so your body needs to survive, and the other things that are living inside your body want to survive. So who's gonna win in that competition? Of course, your body. You're on survival mode. So it will completely get rid of everything, and the detoxification can go to 100 times maximized. So it's the most effective type of fasting. So this is when we talk about the long-term fasting. So once we are done in that, we have the month of Ramadan, of course. Once we are done with that, we need to maintain that cleanse that have happened in our body, our spirit, our mental health, whatever purpose you have had from the fast. Now you need to maintain it. So we have our short-term fast, which is Monday and Thursday. Yeah.
3
Or
days
some
in the
people
middle of
want
the
to
month.
continue. Yes. And again, the three days in the middle of the month also, they correlate with the moon cycle, which has a huge effect on us, which correlates with our biological hour as well. So it's amazing when we follow our sunnah, amazing how many benefits you can
Subhanallah.
get reflected on our health. So with Monday and Thursday, there are people who do intermittent fasting. It's almost the same, so it's very good.
Going back to the sugar, we have a question from Rina. She's asking, is it better to eat sweets straight after a meal when insulin is already out of the body?
Actually, it is better to eat it before the meal because, or if you want to eat it after the meal, give it like 30 minutes, an hour, and then have your fruits, because the enzyme production is completely different at that point. There's an ayah in the Quran, actually,
وفاكهة
my brain is
مما
not.
يشتهون ولحم طير مما. Is it this one?
Exactly, yeah. So you have the fruits come
So
first,
the fruits
and then
first.
the fruits come first, and then the the food.
The food.
And that's
ولحم
because
طير
the enzyme, yeah. وفاكهة مما يشتهون ولحم طير.
ولحم طير
It comes
مما
after.
يتخيرون.
Right. So the fruits come first because the enzymes needed for the fruit, they're not as heavy as the ones that you need for like protein consumption. And if the fruit come after, you will end up with fermentation in your stomach, and that can hurt you. It can cause bloating or unhappy feelings for your stomach. So better to either eat it before, or if you want to eat it after, give it some time, 30 minutes to an hour.
Excellent. I think we have covered almost everything. I don't see any more questions. Anything you would like to add? Any tips or advices?
We have talked about important physical aspects for today, and so physically active, sleeping on time, staying hydrated, all of these lead to beauty, health, healthy environment. It will amplify your quality of life. Maybe one thing I would like to add is a challenge that we are having today with technology. There's I was reading the other day, and there's actually a new rule in China that there is no technology more than 2 hours for children less than 13 years of age. Technology has been a big challenge, especially after the pandemic. So make sure that you regulate your screen time for you and your children. And with the pandemic or the lockdown that we have right now, make sure that you have a routine. Even if you're at home, make a routine for you. What time do you wake up? What time do you start your work? Or what time do your kids start online school? And then once you finish, we have a specific time for our food. We have a specific time for activity. We have specific time to watch TV. Do not just leave things on the loose, even if you are at home, because this routine will help regulate your mental health and your physical health. And when you go back to regular life, you will not struggle. So make sure you have a routine, and make sure you have limits and boundaries in the house. So do not take your technology everywhere. Have a specific place where you and your children can have or use your technology for work, for study, for whatever reasons. Bedtime or the bedroom, never ever take your technology there, or your work. The bed is for rest. That's it. Food time in a specific area or designated area in your house. Work time in a designated area. This will help you tremendously.
It's very critical now. And like you said, since everyone is working from home, it is unfortunate that many parents doesn't have the time to take care of their kids, because usually kids are at school, now they are at home. And because parents have work and they can't sit with the kids, they just put the TV on or give them a tablet. So like you said, under the age of 13, we should not give them any screening time. But unfortunately, many parents does, and they give them a lot, and not only a few hours. And this is for the future, to show us what are the side effects of this. I would like to thank you for your time, for donating your time to us, and of course, talking about donation and donating time. We would like to ask everyone who is watching us to donate. You can donate your time by volunteering with HCI, or you can also donate by keeping a child warm this winter. You have the link, humanconcern.org/winter. And I will leave you with a message, a reminder from my colleague, our brand ambassador, Hassan Wadi, who was not too long ago in Syria, and his message from the Assyrian camp.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. This is Hassan Wadi in one of the camps of Syria. I'm here with a baby. Mashallah, he just quieted down. He's been crying for the past 20 minutes. This is his home. If you look, this is his bed. He does not have a baby crib. He just sleeps on here. And he was crying for 15, 20 minutes. I asked his parents, why is the baby crying? And the parents told me, we don't have milk. We don't have nutrients. We don't have nothing to give the baby. We don't even have warmth. It's actually cold, guys. They don't even have diapers. Can you imagine a baby without diapers? The baby is crying I'm sure the baby needs something, but the parents are unable to provide the baby with his or her needs because they can't afford it. They can't afford it. They live in the camps. Look outside. This is the window. Look what you see. This is the life they're living in. They have no heater. They have no clothing. They have nothing. Guys, please support us. SubhanAllah. As soon as I held this baby, he's asleep now. SubhanAllah. He was crying for 20 minutes, guys. I'm not even joking. He's in my hands right now, and he's so calm. It's a beautiful thing, guys. He knows you guys are gonna help. He knows you guys are gonna come through. You guys never disappoint me. Please support, guys, for the sake of this beautiful baby. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.